In this video, we give you an overview of all the changes introduced in Halocline 2022.4. Starting with this release, you can use Halocline with the HP Reverb G2. In addition to the Vive series and the Oculus Quest, you have a headset that is equipped with inside-out tracking and does not rely on SteamVR or the Oculus software. In Halocline Assembly, we have some exciting news for you again. The Assemble tool has received some improvements, and in the beta version you have the new options for documenting assembly sequences. In the new Assembly tab, you will find all functions you need to prepare and document an assembly sequence. Disassemble your assemblies into its individual parts to choose your starting point of assembly. Or reassemble the parts of their respective assembly and start from a different assembly. While you assemble your product in a sequence, the beta version automatically documents each joining step in the background. You simply join two parts or assemblies together, and all joining steps are recorded in an illustrated list. The generated Excel list can be easily used in your whole planning process. With the improvements of the Assemble tool, you can more easily grab small parts. In addition to previous interactions such as assemble with one hand and assemble in the hand, now you're also able to grab and assemble a single part two-handed. In the Measure tool, you can now control the creation of measurements via undo and redo. Assembly is now also available in English and takes over the system language set in Windows. You can now do the assembly training in English and learn the most important features easily. In the desktop view, we have adjusted the user interface and visually improved a few things.
In Halocline layout, we have made some changes that make building objects easier. When creating boxes, the size of the base now changes more quickly if you hold down the thumb function for a long time. If you press briefly, it is more precise. We have also changed the interaction with the Box Create tool. You now create boxes with 2 short clicks. The precision mode is triggered when you hold down the trigger. This allows you to set not only the height, but also the start position precisely. With the Adjust tool, you can now resize multiple boxes at the same time if they are aligned the same way. This makes it easier to adjust table legs or shelves, for example. When you adjust the rotation of objects, a snap feature makes it easier to hit 45-degree steps. When placing objects, you no longer control the rotation by rotating your wrist, but by using the touchpad or joystick. This gives you full control and allows you to place objects more safely. With this version, we have expanded the selection of standard tools for you. In addition to the existing ones, you now have 7 new tools to choose from. You now have the possibility to import your own 3D data of the hall into a shop floor. We support the standard file format GLTF and GLB. Note that in most cases it is necessary to prepare existing data before you can use them properly in VR. Information on how to prepare your data can be found on our support desk. New tutorial videos explain the basic functions of the application to you and new colleagues. If you already know the basics, there are more videos to follow. The matching tutorial shop floor, where you can participate in all tasks, can also be found on our support desk. Both in layout and performance, you will now automatically see the screenshots you take in Halocline in your notepad. You will also find a revised desktop overlay. Here you can now easily switch between work areas and variants to present your planning more easily. We have also optimized the rendering in VR. You'll notice that shadows are no longer as harsh and colors look more realistic. Inactive stations are now desaturated and brighter than before. Instead of hands, parts now have a point texture. We will now automatically adjust the graphic settings depending on the complexity of the work area and the performance of your computer. To adjust them manually, you will find a new tab in the Settings window. Select a low resolution and disable shadows and CAD files in the distance to get a smoother image in large and full shop floors. For screenshots and documentation, you can set a higher quality. With our beta version, you can now switch between boxes and parts. This allows you to make static objects interactive after you've built them. You can also make imported CAD data unmovable using this feature.
In Halocline Performance, we have simplified the calibration process and adapted it for headsets like the HP Reverb or the Oculus Quest. In our calibration room, you can set your height and adjust your arm length. The last completed calibration is saved for future use. This allows you to start your recording faster. We have also adjusted the calculation of the clearance width. You can now set it to be calculated exclusively with static objects. Dynamic objects, such as parts or load carriers, no longer influence the clearance width while this setting is on. The tabular report differentiates now between parts, load carriers, and tools. This means that the export can be used to fuller extent as an interface for process data exchange with other platforms such as Morex or EMK-EMA. And last but not least, our tutorial shop floor now contains a training for Halocline Performance. Here, the basic functions are explained to you with the help of signs and short tasks. Have fun testing the new features. You can find more information on our help desk found below in the video description.